Now I'm going to show you how to do a thermostat change as a 1996 5-liter Explorer. First, watch my video on how to drain the coolant, and that'll help out a lot. I'm just going to jump right into changing the thermostat. The thermostat on most vehicles is going to be located on the block, and then it's going to go to there's going to be a hose that goes to the top of the radiator. So find the hose that comes out of the top of your radiator and follow that back to where it connects to the engine. 9 times out of 10 that's going to be where your thermostat is, which in this case is right there. What the thermostat does is prevents the coolant from circulating through the radiator until the engine is up to temperature. And this is what the thermostat looks like. It's basically like a little valve with 2 springs, and when it gets stuck open, the coolant circulates when it's supposed to stay in the engine to warm up the engine. So that's why your heat doesn't work. It takes a long time to heat up. Also, there's the gasket. You can use RTV if you want, but the gasket was only $2, so I figured I'd buy it. And there's the part number for this model. Usually you want to stick with a thermostat temperature that's stock, unless you live in a very hot climate. Then you can drop it down to from a 195 to like a 180, and some people see increased engine performance from that, but I'm just going to stick with stock since it's Michigan, in the middle of April, and it's snowing outside. So first thing we're going to do is pop off that clamp and get this hose out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll get back with you. We took that hose off with the clamp, and that's what it looks like. Very nasty. That's all rust. That's why it's orange like that. So we'll get all that cleaned up. And looks like there's going to be 2 bolts. One right there behind that wire, and then one on this side right there. Take those 2 bolts off. There's a gasket and the thermostat sitting underneath there. After you get those 2 screws out, there's a bolt you got to loosen that holds this clamp on. There's the bolt right there. That way you can pop that hose off and get this thermostat housing out. Here's what it looks like with no thermostat. Here's a thermostat housing. There's a thermostat. There's part of the gasket. And there's the other part of the gasket. It's in pretty rough shape, so we're going to get all this cleaned up, and I'll show you the reinstall. I went and tucked that second hose out of the way right there so I can clean up the face of the block where the thermostat goes here. Don't scrape it with anything too hard because you'll mess it up and it won't want to seal. I just used a razor blade and scraped it like backwards in a backwards motion so that the blade wouldn't cut into the aluminum. So get that end cleaned up and get the other end cleaned up. Put the new gasket on, put the new thermostat in, and get it all sealed up. Just in case you get lost, on the thermostat, the part with the big spring always goes towards the block. So the part with the little nipple type thing that sticks out, that's going to go towards the radiator. Then after you get the thermostat in, you want to put the gasket on and then reinstall it. And you want to snug up the 2 bolts after you get the gasket and the 2 bolts lined up. Pop the hose back on, put the clamp back on, top off your radiator fluid, take it for a drive, and then check for leaks.